So for this video, guys, I'm looking at a man beater at a gun split slot that I like, and it's going to called the PAY slide. And I do like to run this a little bit differently than what is showing here. But I do want to highlight two routes that are really good, which is the B and the A. Both have potential of beating man. I've noticed that a lot of the routes that have like those frigid edges, you can see on their cuts, are really good man beating routes, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to block the tight end. Now that was something that we didn't do in the last video. I want to tell you why I would do it in this video, because most people are going to start off by covering the player that has the running back. But once we motion the running back, they're going to go to the tight end, which is not going to be a big deal because what we're doing is we're wheeling the running back and then we're motioning him to the right. Then on the left side, we're putting him on an in. So it's going to end up looking like this, okay? And I'm just going to man align real quick just to make sure everybody's in their spots. And what you're looking for is a mismatch on your running back. The wheel route is a really tough route to cover as far as from a slot position when it comes to man coverage. And we want a little bit more protection when we have our tight end there. So what you're going to see is that your user is going to roam the middle of the field, which is fine because the first two progression reads is B on his cut, and then Y, because her eyes are already over there, Y on that side. And then we kind of look to the left side from there and look at the in. And then we finally look at the A as our last one if we have to. But let me show you what it is here. The first read is always going to be this B receiver on his cut. If we don't like him, we're going to throw it to that player, okay? Now, I'm going to show you here that I could have thrown it to him, but it wasn't as open as I wanted. It gets more open than it is, okay? What I'm showing you is here, and from a quarterback's perspective, let's look at it, right? So what I'm looking for is on this side of the field, I'm looking at that in route, that post route. Could I have thrown it right there? Possibly, right? I have inside position. If I had somebody in my face, I would throw this. Basically meaning that I wouldn't hesitate to throw it because there's nobody in my passing lane. I could throw it, but for the purpose of it, I didn't think I had enough separation to not look at my other options because there was enough time in the pocket. Then the second one, because your eyes are already over there. You're looking at that player. Your eyes are over there. Now you see that the running back is open. I'm like, yes, I like that route. So I'm going to throw it to him, and you're going to have some good success. What you're going to understand about man coverage is not every time is each route going to beat the man exactly the same, whether the ratings are different or even if there are ratings, it's the win percentages, right? So I can run this play 10 times against the same players and have different results. Now, once I look at these players, say these guys are not open, now I'm going to look at this in route as a check down. Now, this is not a really good right here. This is actually really good coverage by them because you can see he's hip to hip. A lot of times you're going to have a little bit more separation as far as you've got the inside position. And even though he's on you, he's not going to go through you to catch the ball. That's actually really good coverage. I wouldn't throw that ball. And this guy didn't win his assignment this time either, this crossing route. But we did get the win over here, right? So what we got to do is really make sure that you hit the player that has the mismatch or who gets the win. So let's go look at it again. This is against cover 2 man, by the way, right? So we're going to man align. We're going to put the Y on a wheel, motion him over, block the running back. Block the tight end, and put the X on and in. Okay, so here we are. Again, we're going to look at that player on the right. Is he open? This time I'm going to take it. Okay, I possession catched it. I saw it. I just wanted to show that you can hit that player. He probably had the same exact amount of separation as he did last time. But you're going to see here is that all I needed to see was that. Last time I decided not to throw it to him. This time I do, just so you can see that you've got that option to throw it to him, especially if you've got a bigger bodied receiver. So again, what we'll do here is we'll man align. And we'll go ahead and run this again to where we're blocking the tight end, Y on the wheel. And then we're going to just run our progressions. Say the B is not open. Say the Y is not open. Now I can actually go a little bit further down the B if I see that, you know what, even those other guys weren't open, I got to go to the next spot. Now let's go to something like cover 1 robber, okay? This is going to work a lot better than the last one did against cover 1 robber because we're attacking the outsides of the field. So you're going to expect that the 3 hook could definitely take away a little bit of that inserted break by the B. but it's not going to, you know, go ahead and take away the wheel. Now on this, you can see that they're off coverage. I'm going to leave it off coverage, and then I'll do it where they're pressed a little bit, okay? So here you go. You can see that. Can I throw it to this A? Yes. So I'm going to throw it to him over here, because on non-pressed, that guy's going to have a much better opportunity of getting it. Now, against cover one robber where it's pressed, that's where, you know, that's going to get a little bit, you know, less likely to get open that way, right? If somebody's pressing you like this, there are a lot of, you know, routes that you can beat people with that are a lot easier than this. But, you know, you got to make them get burned by doing that, right? So basically what we're going to do here again is move this guy over. If I'm seeing all these presses like this, most likely my first thought is I'm going to hit this wheel route. Okay, here we go. Looking at this, I could hit that A. Now I'm going to hit the wheel. You can see, unfortunately, they got in, and the wheel wasn't that open, but I would have taken a shot because I did have the ability to kind of go over the top with it and see what I got. So let's try this again where they're pressing, and I'm taking the wheel, moving them over, blocking my tight end, and I'm putting the X on and in. And let's see, you know, this is actually, let's man align this. I want to make sure that everybody's in their spots. The last thing I want to do is give a bad, you know, individual matchup. And all right, here it is. We are now pressing, and you can see here again, we're going to look at this. A would have been open. Now, this is what I'm talking about, the wheel. I'm just throwing it up there knowing I've got the speed correlation to beat that guy. You should, if you got good running backs against good linebackers, you should always have the win as far as type of speed, you know, no matter what you're in, unless you're playing with a power back. And you obviously wouldn't want to have your power back in this type of formation if you're relying on this as a man beater, right? You'd probably want to put a third down back in, or you'd want to put in, you know, someone with a little bit more speed. So that's really how I like this to do it. If they're coming at you like it's a blitz, you do have that extra protection, so you know that. You do have the ability where the X is always going to be your check down, but you do have a lot of time to where usually if they're blitzing, sometimes they'll press, sometimes they won't, but I'll at least man line for you. If you want me to press, let's do that just so you can see it. And you're going to have that ability for the A or the B right off the bat, and then the X is the other player. So here we go. Look at here. A is going to be open right now, but this time I'm going to throw it to B. You know, so those are really tough routes if they're going to send the house at you because of the way it is. You just kind of pick your poison. You have enough time. You just need to kind of see which guy is the best one for you.